that the ability of the UPDF to do what has defied other governments, because like the insecurity of Karamoja was not new at all. It had been there even in the colonial times. It only got worse after 1979, when the Matheniko, one of the tribes of Karamoja, looted their arms in the Moroto barracks after the Amin soldiers ran away. They were able to get automatic weapons, which they had not so much before. But otherwise, the insecurity was there all the time, even in the colonial times. Now, the reason we were able to do these tasks is because of three things, which if you are really interested, you could listen to. Number one, ideology. The Honorable Jessica Ababiko is telling you, which I don't hear many people talking about, that by 1986, 500,000 people from West Nile were in exile in South Sudan and in Congo. Uganda was number 4 in the whole world in the export of refugees. It was competing with Ethiopia, Afghanistan, and I think Sudan. Uganda was number 4 in the export of the refugees. And what had the West Nilers run away from? From ideological bankruptcy. Because you remember, I was part of fighting Idi Amin. Nobody can say he fought Idi Amin more than I did. But as we were fighting Idi Amin, we always told our people and everybody that, look here, don't blame the mistakes of Idi Amin on all the West Nilers. Because all these things Amin is doing, he doesn't consult the people in West Nile, the villagers. He does them with a small clique of idiots. And don't blame the people of West Nile for this. Even when we were fighting UPC, it was the same. We told our cadres, don't blame the people of Northern Uganda, of Acholi, Lango, for the mistakes of Obote. Distinguish between the misleaders and the misled. This is the line of the NRM. Always make a distinction between the misleaders, who are few, and the misled, who are many, even if they are misled. But in many cases, most of the masses are not even involved at all. It's just small groups of people. So when we took over, when we defeated Amin in 1979, we had formed UNLF. There was a group called UNLF, which was like NRM. We were telling these people, please, wait, you are UPC and you are DP based on Catholics for DP, Protestants for UPC. Please, give us a holiday. Let's have a united group, UNLF. But they couldn't listen. They took advantage of the fact that we had our Tanzanian brothers here who didn't know our situation. They moved and they brought back the bankruptcy of the old politics of sectarianism. So those massacres, those are Babikus who must have been either children or in the womb. I don't think they were even there. I think it was the wombs which were running away. The running started in 1980. not 1979. 1979, we had, because we were together with the Tanzanians, we were with the UNLF, and we had said, isolate Amin, isolate Amin. Don't blame the people of West Nile for the mistakes of Amin. But when they brought back their UPC and their nonsense DPs, that's how the problem came up. You West Nilers, you are relatives of Idi Amin, so we kill you. Imagine, to be killed because of my relative. Bankruptcy. So if you don't, if you say that you really appreciate, you better understand. So that's number one, ideology. We believe in individual responsibility. We cannot blame a group for the mistakes of one member of that group. That is point number one. And we never believe in sectarianism. So the first reason why we are able to do what Nakut, I thought Nakut was a cadre. Now I've discovered she's still a Karamoja. Because Nakut was saying, I can't understand why these people, why they sacrifice so much. Yes, if you are convinced, we are always celebrating the Martyrs' Day in Namugongo on the 3rd of June. Young people who refused to denounce religion and they were killed by Mwanga. On the 9th of May, we are already celebrating Martyrs' Day, Heroes' Day. For us, we are not just martyrs, we were heroes. We have both martyrs, but also we have heroes, because martyrs die without resistance. Heroes, they can kill you if you are not careful. As you try to kill them. So on the 9th, we celebrate the Heroes' Day. People who stood because of conviction. If you are convicted of something, you will stand. So the first reason how we were able to do what these other groups failed to do is because of ideology. Secondly, discipline. What Nakut was saying, how the cattle rustling came back in 2018, it was not just the removal of the troops. There were also some mistakes by our commanders, corruption. They stole the money of the LDUs. You know, we had Karamoja LDUs. And they stole their money. They didn't pay them. And you know how confused the Karamoja groups are. So they said, okay, so if you are not paying us, we are going to raid. That's how it all started. There was also another man, I've forgotten his name. Is it Achuchu? Achuchu, the one whose wife they took when he was in jail. And when he came from jail, he said, you better repress my wife who was taken. They just looked at him. He went and raided cattle to buy another woman. That's how it all started again. So it was the carelessness of our people, the corruption. But the third reason how we succeed is the Banyankole proverb. Okom toguri enshujun kuitegwa. You make the hairstyle according to the shape of the head. If you have got a head with big bones like this, the hairstyle will follow the shape of the head. When we are budgeting, this is very important for you fellows. How could we build such a powerful army with very little money? Because we budget we plan according to our small budget. That's why when we are building the army, we don't start with the barracks. The barracks don't look so smart. We start with the personnel, the training, and the weapons. Soldiers are staying in some Mama Ingia Pole, but the one in Mama Ingia Pole can also kill you, like the one coming from a Gorofa. So that's how we have been managing. If you look at the budget of Uganda, it was like $500 million some years ago. You look at the budgets of other African countries, big, billions. So because of that budgeting according to the shape of the head, the hairstyle according to the shape of the head, that's how we manage. Three things: ideology, discipline, and realism in budgeting. Don't budget unrealistically.